Hello everybody and welcome to another Fear the Walking Dead video. In today's video will be about Padre, and in this video I'll be breaking out all the information we know about Padre so far and telling you exactly what Padre is and who they are. So let's not kind of waste any more time and jump straight into this. So first things first, what we know about Padre is that it is a US kind of classified / secret program or contingency that only the top end government knew about, like senators and maybe the president. The only person that we actually knew about Padre was Senator Vasquez and his family, which was sent to Padre. Other than that, it's all up in the air if someone like Diane knew, or if someone like Pamela or Pamela's dad knew before the apocalypse. But we know at least one senator knows, and it's up to that high. Moving on, we also know the kind of focus of Padre, and the focus of Padre is to rebuild society minus all attachments, and everyone's kind of more drone-like. Padre is about stealing babies through collectors, up to 6 that we know of. As we know, Madison's collected number 6. There's probably way more scattered throughout America. As we know that Padre is about stealing babies, we also know that Padre must be large enough to be able to have this many babies to look after. Babies are not an easy thing to look after. Most of the time, babies need 2 people. So imagine somebody having to raise multiple babies. We can clearly infer that Padre is a very, very, very large organization and probably has close ties to what remains of the government. That's probably the leadership of Padre, is that it is very connected to the government, and there's probably going to be a senator in charge of Padre. We can help to kind of boost my theory that if Padre is this massive organization, is that at the end of season 7 we see Madison and Morgan going towards a boat. That boat is probably fully manned and working, and a boat that size probably has a crew of maybe 80 plus is my estimate. I don't really know about boats, but I would say a boat that size probably has a crew above 80 minus like 150 around that time, and that's on one boat. And as there's 6 collectors going back there, we could think, okay, how many collectors would take babies? We know Madison took almost 100, I think she says in the episode. Imagine if each collector did as well as Madison. That is like almost like 600 babies, or let's say they've taken about 300 babies. That's going to be a massive group. So we know Padre is in a group within the hundreds. Easily one of the biggest groups we've ever seen on Fear, and it's definitely up there in the size of biggest groups in the universe. Padre would definitely be below the Commonwealth. It's definitely bigger than all the other villains we have definitely seen aside from the CRM and Commonwealth in this universe. So now we know what Padre's origins are, what they are, and how large they are. Where are they? Well, there's 2 ways I could see Padre being. First of all, we could see that, okay, Padre is in Sonoy, Georgia. The only reason I say this is because we know that filming for Fear the Walking Dead is moving to Sonoy, Georgia for season 8. So we could use that information and be like, okay, the origins of Padre is actually in Sonoy, Georgia, or around that area. So we know that Padre is large enough to have collectors in Texas if their origin and their base is in Sonoy, Georgia. That is a really far distance. So that is kind of boosting my theory that Padre is this massive organization if they're able to keep connections to the other side of the country, basically. However, Padre might not actually have a base in Sonoy, Georgia, and they might be a nomadic type of enemy for the Fear characters. This can still have the characters end up in Sonoy, Georgia, with Padre having more than one boat, and they have a boat already going to Sonoy, and that's how our characters end up in Georgia again. They're following that boat back to the Sonoy, Georgia boat, as I'm going to call it. So Padre could be a little smaller than I estimated. However, that's still a community of more than 100 plus people with maybe 2 or more boats, like a collection of boats. However, I do feel like Sonoy, Georgia being the base for Padre, and that's where they're keeping their babies, is the more likely option, and that makes a lot more sense than the babies just being on a boat that end up in that direction. So we kind of already know a lot about Padre using some kind of external information and kind of reading between the lines about Padre. So no matter what the location of the home base for Padre is, it's going to have a substantial community, and it's going to be very big in the hundreds, no matter if they're nomadic or they are based in Sonoy, Georgia. They're still going to have a 100+ community. So everything is leading towards Padre being this massive group. That's the biggest group we're ever going to see on Fear the Walking Dead. And they are about rebuilding America. That's the focus of Padre. Everything like that is confirmed. The only things that are up in the air right now is the location, the leadership, and are they connected to either the Commonwealth, which I think is very unlikely, or even slightly likely, are they connected to the CRM? And are they trying to build kind of the future next soldiers for the CRM minus any connections? They get old enough, they get trained, they get sent to the CRM. So will this be kind of an offshoot of the CRM, or will it be its own thing? That's kind of all the things that are up in the air at the moment. And that is my video and everything we know about Padre and everything we can kind of infer and theorize about Padre. That is kind of all the information we have to us right now and all the information that we can gather through other sources. But please tell me down below, what do you think about Padre? Do you agree with what I am saying? Do you think some of these things I am just completely making up and it can't be true? I want to know your thoughts and opinions down below. And do you think Padre will be a cool villain, or do you think they won't? Do you think they are connected to the CRM? I don't think the Commonwealth will be connected. The only one that could be connected is the CRM. Do you think Padre and the CRM are somewhat connected, as they're both somewhat kind of connected to the government itself? Do you think these two like kind of offsprings of the remains of the government have some sort of connection or not? And that is my video. So if you want more Walking Dead content, look on the screen. There is always content. I recommend you go and click on something else, find some other Walking Dead content, because you'll find it and you would definitely enjoy it. And if you want Walking Dead content and keep up to date on all things Walking Dead, make sure to subscribe to my channel. But this is it for me today. So goodbye, peace out, and I'll talk to you at a later date.